How to polish and clean antique sterling silver is a big issue for a lot of people. Sterling silver is beautiful, but a lot of people are concerned about the upkeep, maintenance of it. And so today we're going to talk about how to clean, polish, preserve your sterling silver, and some of the things you should keep in mind when you're looking to buy it, use it, or invest in it, or looking to sell it yourself. So let me just show this on my page real quick. There we go. So polishing antique silver, well, there's a lot of ways to do it. I'm going to talk mainly about doing it by hand. There's a couple methods out there using warm to hot water with baking soda and aluminum foil. I know that can be successful. I've personally never done it, not because I'm not opposed to it, I just haven't done it. But I've always gotten enjoyment out of polishing silver. I'm one of those crazy people. Years ago, when Stace and I traveled to antique shows, I would polish silver watching Monday Night Football. So it was a way I could watch football and be active and be busy. So it wasn't just doing nothing while watching a football game. So one of the things I always do is I always wear rubber gloves when I'm cleaning silver. The blackness, what makes silver tarnish is silver reacts with the sulfur in the air to create silver sulfide. And it's not hard to get off, but it's black, it's dirty. It will stain your clothes. It will make your hands filthy dirty. And so I just always put on the rubber gloves. One of the easiest ways to clean silver is honestly with just any kind of window cleaner. I want to use this, name brand, non-name brand, and wipe it down first. And that takes off the big chunks. And you should see it, just already starting to take off some of the tarnish in just a couple of quick wipes. So I was wiping around the whole cup. I was going to do the outside of the cup today. And this is a cup that we actually use here at the KC Auction Company. We have open houses and people over. We actually fill this with sugar packets, sweet and low, and things like that. And so we actually use this piece of silver quite regularly, a couple of times a month anyway, for different events that we have here at the office. So you can see just in a quick bit of wiping how discolored the paper towel is in just a little bit of wiping. And you can see it's already taking off some of the tarnish from the cup. And so the right off with the dry part, and you can see again, it's the more you rub, the more tarnish you take off. Be careful. Obviously, that's an applied handle. So you want to clean that, but you want to be careful you don't put too much pressure, because I have seen people bend silver. This piece obviously has a couple little dings in it from use over the years. But the last thing you want to do is break a handle just by cleaning it, and that's obviously a concern. You just got to be careful of what you're doing with it. So go through the trash there. So you can see real quick that took off some of the tarnish. We've been using Wright Silver Cream. It's pretty easy. It's not messy at all. You could use toothbrushes with toothpaste. There are a lot of different products out there to polish silver with, and you can see again, here's the cup as it is now. Obviously a little brighter than it was just a couple minutes ago. But you just wipe on this Wright Silver Cream, and you can see that it's got this little like a pink tint to it. But it's really, it really starts to polish it up immediately. There's a product we used to use a lot, Never Dull, and it's fine if it's really caked on, but the pieces are never dull when you're finished with it, but they're never shiny either. It's very abrasive. Remember, silver is a soft metal, and so the more abrasive the material that you use to clean it, the more wear you're going to give to the silver. So you can see now that we have this little film of cleaning all around. You can kind of see it's polished and shiny below it already. And I always like to make sure I get in this, like this has a little ring around the top of it. I like to just use the back of my fingernail with the sponge and make sure I get in that groove really good. Same on the handle here, a couple of grooves. You just want to make sure you get the polish deep in there. So you do that, and then you just take a paper towel and wipe it down. I actually usually use one of both hands so that I don't just smear it with my rubber glove. And then it's really just a matter of wiping off the polish. And in just a couple of minutes, I mean, this video has only been going, what, less than 5 minutes, 3 minutes ago since I went live. And you can see already how quickly that is getting really shiny. And we're not quite done yet, But you can see in just a couple of minutes, you can really make a nice difference in a piece of silver. Take something that's dull and kind of dingy looking, and in just a few minutes, you have something that's really pretty, sparkly, shiny, glitzy, and you have a piece that you can easily put out there. Like I said, we use this piece specifically for open houses here. That's one of the fun things that we do. You know, old toothpick holders are great to put toothpicks in, obviously. You know, match holders are a good thing for that as well. There's ways to, I've seen people take toothpick holders and match holders and form place cards. So if you have a big formal dinner and you want to give everybody a specific place to sit, you can use that. So you can see in just a couple of minutes how shiny that piece is compared to what it was just a couple of minutes ago. And the last thing that we do is, and we just use Goddard's because they came out of an estate, silver care mitts. And you can see when I pull these on that we use these a lot. These were obviously like a Tiffany blue originally. And so silver being a soft metal, even though that writes is a very, it's a cream, it's a polish, it still has grit to it. And so even though this cup looks really shiny, and this, I don't know how well this is going to show up on the screen or not. Of course, I'm having trouble getting this on right now. But if you look at this now, you can see it's quite shiny. It's very pretty. But by wiping it over with these blue gloves, these silver care gloves, it takes off the remnants, the last remnants, especially in the crevices and things like that, of the silver polish. But it also just gives it that final buff. And again, we're talking about doing a hand polish, not using a buffing machine, not using a dip that you leave it sit in for a while. We're talking about hand polishing. And literally in 5 or 6 minutes, I've taken this cup that looks kind of dingy and turned it into something that is ready to be set on any table as a really pretty little ornament for your dinners. You can see the inside's got a little bit of a gilded wash, but you can see that it's still tarnished in there because I didn't touch that at all. The bottom has a bit of tarnish on it too. But you can see how quickly and easy that was just to polish a little silver cup. Now, we talked about polishes being abrasive and polishing silver. And every time you polish silver, you take off finite amounts of silver when you do that. The reason I'm leaving my gloves on is I want to show you a piece that's in our next auction. It's silver on copper. It's a really big punch bowl, but you can see in the reflection there, and the inside's easier to see, I think. This bowl is going to polish so much that you can see the rims here, the rings, all have silver, copper showing through because the silver was polished off over years and years and years. So when people were sitting there and polishing this for dinners, you're taking layers of silver off. Every time you polish, you take a layer of silver off. That's one of the beautiful things about silver is that it actually changes with use and looks more and more like yours every day. But you can see the copper showing through, and that is absolutely, some people hate that. Some people have that piece replated. I like it. It shows use. Now, of course, you have to be careful what you serve in that because copper reacts with different things differently. That's why copper cookware always has a zinc lining, I believe, because you can't cook in copper because there are reactions. So that's really it. In 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, we took the silver cup and made it a beautiful piece of silver. And you can easily do that at home. And what a great weekend to do that. You know, it's Mother's Day weekend here. And if your mom, your wife collects silver, take a few minutes and polish her favorite pieces for her, and she'll be really, really thrilled. And you see it doesn't take very long at all. How to maintain your silver to keep it from tarnishing? There's a couple of ways to do that. If you display it, it's harder because the air is what causes tarnish. The silver reacts with the sulfur in the air and creates silver sulfide. But if you keep it in a sealed curio cabinet, that would help because it's not as, the air doesn't flow as much, so there's not as much reaction. If it's silver you're not going to use and not going to have displayed, just wrap it with saran wrap. It's amazing how well that works to remove the air from the environment. I've even seen some people use the vacuum seal packages, like the food sealing machines out there. You have to be really careful that your pieces that you do that to are solid. It works fine for flatware because it's all flat and you're not going to bend it with that machine. But a piece like this, you want to make sure that handle has the stability to be sucked in like that in a food packaging, air dry. So that's the right word, but it pulls the air out, so it takes up less space for like foods, and it seals it for freezer burn. But for silver, it keeps the oxygen out, so you don't have that reaction with the silver and the oxygen creating silver sulfide. So that's kind of it. Kind of like this going on is this cleaning and maintaining your antiques. We talked about furniture last week. Yeah, we talked about furniture last week. Talking about silver this week. I think next week we'll talk about jewelry, cleaning and maintaining and storing your jewelry. It's always an important topic. We sell a lot of jewelry here. We sell a lot of silver here. So we talk about things we see and touch regularly here at the KC Auction Company because we just have access to it, and we know that our customers and clients are all appreciators of those environments or objects, even if they don't collect them personally. There's a lot of crossover collectors for silver and jewelry and fine antiques and artwork. So next week we'll talk about cleaning and maintaining your jewelry. There's a lot of tips and tricks. There's also lots of tips and tricks online. I mean, polishing silver is not a new thing. It's been happening for centuries. There's all kinds of videos online in addition to mine that kind of give you ideas if you didn't find enough information here. Toothbrush and toothpaste, again, toothpaste works great, but it's very abrasive. There's a lot of grit in it. So you want to make sure you go after that with a soft cloth, a microfiber, or a silver polishing mitt and something like that to kind of smooth out those rough edges. You don't even see them with your naked eye, but when you wipe them down with the silver mitt, you do see the difference afterwards because it removes that really fine grit, and it also kind of smooths out the edges on the silver. And that's what silver, the shyness is just there's no abrasions. The more abrasions, the more dull it is. The more longer it's been exposed to the oxygen and sulfur in the air, the more tarnished it gets. So again, real quick, Windex we use a lot, the right silver cream, and then the polishing mittens. And you take a piece that's kind of dull, make it beautiful. If you have any questions, let us know. Post a comment here. If you liked what I talked about today, please hit the like button, share it with your friends. You can always drop us a message through direct messaging here on Facebook. Post a comment on YouTube. You can always send us an email at info@kcauctioncompany.com, info@letter K, letter C, auction company spelled out.com. Or you can give us a call at 816-283-3633. Hope you all have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon here. We're supposed to have rain over the weekend, though, but I have plans with my wife. Hope you have plans with your wives and mothers and sisters over the weekend to make them feel as special as they are. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.